If I were the owner of the organization, the biggest shift I would make is moving from a reactive culture to a proactive one. Most of the challenges I see are not caused by bad people or bad intention, they are caused by systems that were designed to keep up with the pace and complexity of work. So I would focus on building better system, and let me talk through some specific examples that I've come up with. The first thing I will do is I will redesign the cross-functional communication. What I mean by that is I would change how information move across the department. In most large organizations and higher education is no exception to that. Communication tend to happen in fragments. Update lives on email, decision happen in meeting that not everyone attends, and critical details get passed along informally. The result is that people are working hard but not always working on the same information. If I were the owner, I would build a communication operating system. That means establishing one consistent format for cross departmental updates, one shared location where decisions and timelines are documented, and one regular cadence for alignment. I would require every multi team initiative to have a single decision log that answers three questions: what was decided, who owns it, and what is the deadline. I would also make it standard practice that every meeting ends with clear next steps written down, not just discussed. The reason why this matters is that the communication breakdowns are rarely about effort. People are communicating constantly. The problem is inconsistency. When you standardize how updates flow, accountability become automatic. People stop spending energy chasing information and start spending it on execution. The other thing that I would do is I would make it simplifying internal process. What I mean is simplify process and remove unnecessary friction that exists within the higher education realm. Over the time, organization add layers of approval, extra steps, and additional system, usually for good reasons, but eventually those layers accumulate, and what used to be a straightforward request becomes something that moves through five people and three platforms before it get resolved. If I were the owner, I would audit the top workflow that caused the most delay and confusion. Then I would redesign them with one clear principle. Every step in a process should add real value. If it does not, it get removed. I would assign single accountable owner to each workflow instead of spreading responsibility across multiple offices. And I would introduce service level exceptions, meaning we set clear timelines on how long routine process should take, and we hold ourselves to those timelines. The reason I prioritize this is because slow processes do more damage than people realize. They do not just waste time, they erode motivation. When employees feel blocked by the system around them, they stop bringing ideas and they stop taking initiative. Simplifying process is one of the fastest way to improve both productivity and morale, and it signals that your team respects time. The third change I would make is I will invest in professional development of the people. I would make it a building a more intentional and equitable approach to professional development. Most organizations say they value employee growth, and I believe they mean it. But in practice, development tends to be uneven. Some people get mentorship and stretch opportunity because they are visible or well connected, while others work just as hard but do not get the same access. This is not a people problem, this is a design problem. And if I were the owner, I would create a development framework that is simple, consistent, and available to everyone. That starts with quarterly growth conversation focused on three areas: current performance, skill building, and career direction. I would train managers to approach those conversations as coaching, not just evaluation. I would also protect dedicated time for learning, whether that is training, certification, or professional development tied to someone role. And I would connect development to outcome and growth that is not just encouraged but actually measured. So Bringing all together, if I were the owner of my organization, I would redesign communication so people stop missing critical information, simplify process so system works for people instead of against them, and invest in professional development in a way that is fair and measurable and meaningful.